We're going to talk about common mistakes people make when applying for a mortgage. Some of these seem like they're common sense because they actually are common sense. We have 4 common mistakes. The first mistake seems kind of obvious, but don't misrepresent the facts. Don't lie. Don't make up facts just because we asked you a question. Just tell the truth. If you don't know the answer to a question, you don't know the answer to a question. That's better than making up something. Then we prove that it's wrong later. It just reduces your credibility. It indicates to a lender that you're not reliable and that you can't be trusted. Tell the truth. Tell the facts. If you don't know or you're just doing an estimate, at least qualify it. Do your best, but build a good reputation for yourself. Try to keep the facts right. It's not that you'll always be correct, but at least you do your best, and I think everybody will understand that. So number 1, do not lie, tell the truth. The number 2 big mistake is documentation. If you're not organized going into a credit application, you may be better off not making the credit application. Maybe figure out what you need to do before you make a credit application. You can work with your broker, your lender, and say, please get me this list. What we have is we get people come in all the time. They say, we want to do this deal. I need to get this funded by the 30th of May, and it happens to be April 1st. And you're going, oh, we got lots of time. All of the information they need to complete the application, day 1, you got lots of time. But what generally happens is we'll ask for a rent roll, we'll ask for this, we'll ask for whatever we have. Then someone will send us something. It'll be incomplete. We'll say, this part of your application is incomplete. So rather than actually addressing the problem, people will literally send me the same email with the incorrect information 7 or 8 times saying they've satisfied the requirement. Then they'll get angry at us and frustrated with us because they said, well, we've already sent you this information. But I think sometimes people don't even read the emails they send to people, or they rely on someone else to give them the information, and they don't realize that that person's not giving them the information. It's crazy, but it happens almost with every single borrower. I'm not sure what the idea is here. Maybe people just don't like to read, or don't, I get it, it's boring stuff, reading a report, but you need to be organized, and you need to provide that information correctly. That means things will go smoothly, and your timelines will be met. Now we're going to go to the third biggest mistake and deal killer. Meet your deadlines. Believe it or not, lenders aren't there to waste your time, but they also don't like their time wasted. So if you're trying to waste a lender's time by giving them incorrect information or just not providing the information that they need to proceed, what's going to happen is you're going to lose momentum on the transaction. And as soon as you lose momentum on the transaction, there's a high likelihood it's not going to get done, because then something else will happen. Like someone will come by with a better deal that they would rather work on, and they're not going to work on your application. So once you have a lender's attention, you don't want to waste their time. You need to keep the momentum going. You need to meet your deadlines. You need to move the thing along. That is critical. If you're not organized to move them along, and if you can't meet those deadlines, I would suggest don't make the application, because if you get a reputation of wasting lenders' time, they're not going to pay much attention to you anytime. They're going to stop listening. It's not like lying, but it's similar. You lose a lot of credibility with lenders if you can't make your deadlines. The fourth big mistake, which seems like common sense, but as soon as you put money and deadlines, these combinations together, it seems like people feel that they have the right, or they forget that they're dealing with people on the other end. So you need to be respectful. I can't tell you the number of times people are trying to yell at me and yell at their lenders and yell at their trades and yell at all the people that are supporting them to get something done, and think that that's an effective tactic. Maybe if you have someone who's not performing, I can understand getting a little upset, but if you find you're in that situation, then maybe you need to take the time to understand what their needs are and why something isn't getting done, rather than yelling and trying to bullying your way through a transaction. That might work once or twice, but I guarantee you it will not work for a long-term relationship. And if you're in the business and that's the kind of borrower you are, and you're trying to build a business doing this, it won't work. You'll end up with more expensive lenders who are willing to put it up with that because they're charging you more, or you're going to end up with substandard trades or substandard partners. Be respectful. Be someone wants to work with. That will make your application go better. It seems like common sense. There's this perception among some borrowers that the lender works for them. It's sort of true, but it's not actually true. Even if you're a billionaire, you're working for the lender. You're borrowing money from somebody. They expect a return, on and a return of the money. Quite simple. You tell them a business plan, they expect you to execute it as presented. No deviation. Don't treat the lenders that way, and they perceive that. They probably won't want to work with you. It seems like absolute common sense. These 4 mistakes happen consistently, and I've been doing this for 30 years, consistently. Maybe not every single application, but at least one of the mistakes shows up on every single application. I can tell you the people who try to avoid these mistakes and are honest and easy to work with, everybody's going to have a lot of time for and will get the job done. Those are my tips. I hope that helps you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to call us.